Hey, what's up guys? How are you doing? So, today I wanted to share with you a couple of details and curiosities about my latest short animations on Dark Souls 1. I'm going to go over mainly the last two, Gaping Dragon and House of Traps, but I will also talk briefly also about Ring the Bell, which is a short that I made a couple of years ago. At the end of the video, I'm gonna share with you some stuff that I just released on my Patreon. And also, I wanted to say that the feedback on these videos have been really nice. I wanted to thank you for all the nice comments. And I'm having a blast doing them, and I'm currently working on a new one. And I have to say that YouTube has been a little bit weird about them. Like, they gather a lot of views in the first week. It's been really nice, and there was a lot of interaction too. But what I noticed is that after like a week, YouTube seems to completely forget about them. Like, it doesn't really share them and recommend them to people. And this is not true though for my older videos that are longer. They are always kind of, suggested to people. But these short videos, for some reason, like, they do really well for the first week, but then they get kind of hidden by YouTube, which is really weird. So I don't know, like, I'm gonna just continue doing these because I am having a blast. And yeah, I don't know, like, I think that maybe by doing more of these and continuing doing them, maybe the algorithm will realize that I'm doing this new format and it will kind of react accordingly and kind of share them a little bit more. Like the second one, in fact, had a little bit more views than the first one. So I just hope that by doing some of them and I make a playlist, people can discover them more easily. But anyway, like, I just wanted to say thank you so much for the positive feedback and the enjoyment. And yeah, that's it. Let's get to it. Okay, so let's start with something that is shared across all of three of these shorts. And it's the gestures. Basically, I included in every one of these shorts a hidden gesture from the game, and I'm going to do so with the next shorts that I will be doing as well. So for example, in Ring the Bell here, there's this gesture that is called, what is it?
What is it?
Okay. And then in Gaping Dragon, you have this gesture called Look Skyward.
I'm so stupid.
This one.
Damn it.
And then last, in House of Traps, the joy gesture, this one. So yeah, I'm gonna continue doing this because it's a lot of fun, and I hope you can keep an eye out on the gestures that I'm gonna include in the new short. Okay, so after the Zelda CDI scene here, you can see that my character is doing like a pose. And that is a nod towards He-Man and the Master of the Universe, which is a cartoon. So I'm gonna show you on screen the footage now, so you can see that it's clearly trying to to recreate the same pose. And it's kind of silly because in that scene I say someone should stop making references, and at the same time I'm doing a reference, so it's kind of silly, you know? Nobody in the comments said anything about this. Nobody really realized it, so I wanted to point it out. Okay, so later in the animation here, you can see that the character is talking to Donald of Xena. On the table, you can see an item from the game. That's the Elizabeth shroom, which is a consumable. Another detail across the whole short is that the collarbone of my armor has some expressions. So if you watch the animation, you'll notice that with each thing that happens on screen, the collarbone decoration, whatever you want to call it, does an expression that reacts to the situation. Okay, so here's another silly detail. I decided to do the voices for the little dragon using my voice, you know, because I was like, how the fuck can I create the voice of a creature, you know? So when he goes like, wow, here.
Is that okay?
Wow. It's basically my voice from the end of the short when I get hit in the head by the Chandler. Here, you know, when I get hit on the head, I go, ow! Ow! Basically, I took the audio, the ow, and I sped it up so fast that it sounds wow. So it's the same sound, but it's like super sped up. I think maybe 300 times more. Another more subtle detail is the fact that like during the whole animation, I made the wings of the dragon kind of getting more pointy as time goes on, as he's growing, you know, to the point that near the end, you know, the wings are very, very pointy. And when he appears at the end, at the very end, he is, you know, the one that we know from the game, of course, you know, like all freaking like satanic almost. So another thing that about Federico is that I get hit by the channeler, you know, because he used magic and he hits me in the head, you know, and I get distracted and he falls down. But there's another detail that I guess some people didn't maybe catch from the comments, and it's the fact that the channeler, just like in the game, he buffs the dragon, you know. So as you can see, like there's like an aura coming out of him, and you know that you could say that this is kind of buffing him and making him invincible in a way, or perhaps like he's stronger, you know, because in the game he becomes stronger when he's buffed by the channeler, right? And so to me, I kind of justify the fact that he fell down the waterfall, and it's like a big drop, right? And but because he was buffed by the channeler, that's the reason why he survived, or that's why he basically became like a zombie, you know, like a zombie dragon, and he comes back because he was like protected by this magic, you know. I know it's really convoluted and silly, but to me it made sense. So when I thought about it, I was like, oh my god, I should have him buffing the dragon just before he falls down, you know. Okay, so going back to the scene where Ingward is checking on Federico. So here, basically, I thought, so who could be the doctor, kind of the vet, checking on Federico? And I thought, well, you know, Ingward has a mask of, it's a mask that is used, you know, back in the medieval times to check on patients and people that were that had the plague at the time. Especially in Italy, it was used. So I was like, well, if it's someone that could be a doctor, I guess it would be Ingward, you know, so it makes sense to me. And so, yeah, I decided to use him as the doctor. But the detail that I wanted to show you is the fact that at the beginning, and this is, again, something that nobody pointed out in the comments, he's using like a glove, I would say, you know, like a thing that vets usually use, like, and they're usually this color, you know, I guess to not get any diseases, you know, and stuff. But the cool thing about this is that this is meant to be the transient curse item that you find in the game, or it's meant to represent the transient curse, which is an item that allows you to touch stuff that is kind of cursed, you know. I thought it was just a perfectly fit because of the color, because of the fact that it looks like a glove, like a hand, you know. Also, because Ingward was the character that sealed New Londo, there's a seal. I'm sorry! Okay, so before we go to the next one, I wanted to share with you a little bit of a story time. So the reason why the dragon is called Federico is because when I was a kid, maybe around 5-year-old till I was 10, I had a friend called Federico, and it was like a big friend of mine. But then when I was like maybe 11 or 12, I met him again, and he was really changed. Like, he was really rude at me. He was really rude. I don't know what the hell happened to him, to be honest, but he suddenly like really changed. And I was really sad, to be honest. So the whole, you know, the idea of calling the dragon Federico, it's because I kind of wanted to put in this animation a little bit of my personal story in a way. So this guy, you know, he really changed, and he was really rude at me, and yeah, like it really kind of left a little bit at the time, of course, it left a little bit of sourness in me, you know. So the fact that the dragon here, he's like innocent in a way, he's like cute, but at the end of the video he becomes a monster. It's kind of like an analogy to that story of mine. Of course, you know, like nowadays I don't care about this, because I wish him well, of course. I wish that I hope that he's doing well. And you know, like when you're a kid, so who gives a shit, you know? But it was something that stuck to me at the time, you know. So sometimes, you know, when we do this kind of animation things and you do something artistic, I don't know, like it's kind of nice to put something about yourself, you know, to I guess, exorcise your quote-unquote demons. And so that's why I decided to call him Federico. And I think it kind of makes sense, you know, to me. And nobody will know this, you know, but I wanted to share with you because I like to do stuff in my animations in a way that makes sense. You know, I really want to give stuff some sense. Maybe I'm OCD, I don't know, but I like it. All right, so let's shift gears now and go to House of Traps. So the first thing I wanted to show you, this is really hard to see, but let me slow the footage here. But as the boulder is hitting me and I open the menu, you can see the shape. Oh man, like it's so difficult to show you, but you can see the shape of something on the boulder, and that's supposed to be Wile E. Coyote. I hope that I pronounced that right. Which is, you know, I think it's a Looney Tunes character, right? Like you can see the shape of him on the boulder. And that's a nod to those cartoons, you know, from when I was a kid, where the poor coyote was like getting completely like shit-faced, was getting completely destroyed by his bad luck, you know. And it was like, I love those cartoons back in the day. So it's kind of like a slapstick comedy that I liked. And so I wanted to put it here because I feel like in the game Dark Souls 1, when you go to Sans Fortress, you kind of get treated like Wile E. Coyote, you know, because you get slapped around and you get smashed. And so that's why I put that there, basically. So to be honest with you guys, because I'm old as fuck, I was never too much into the generations after the first one of Pokemon, but there was a Pokemon that I really liked. I don't know, I always find it kind of mysterious and it looked cool to me, from the second generation, which is called Unknown. And so in this House of Traps video, there's 8 times, like the unknown Pokemon appears on screen 8 times. And so I challenge you to find it, but it's hidden kind of everywhere. And yeah, that's it. You know, I just put this Pokemon in there. And the reason why I put specifically Unknown is that you know, it kind of looks like a hieroglyph. Is that how you pronounce it? Hieroglyph, like from Egypt, you know. And I thought it really suited the atmosphere, you know, the location of the Sans Fortress. So again, I challenge you to find all 8 of them. Okay, so in the scene with the pinball machine, well, I don't think this is really something that people didn't catch, although I didn't see comments about it. And there were a lot of comments, by the way, thank you. But the orbs here, the red orbs, where they are black orbs, but then as soon as the ball hits them, they become red eye orb, are there. But the detail that I wanna show you guys is that the crestfallen merchant on the bottom right, he's supposed to be like the 1-up. Like when you die, you basically lose a life, lose like one up, and so he basically falls into pieces. See. So you might think, why is he floating? Why didn't I just put him on the pedestal and that's it? The reason is because it kind of nods to a little detail from the game where the crestfallen merchant, he's shown to be taller than you, and in order to accomplish that, the game designers basically made him float from the ground just a little bit, as you can see from the footage here. And so again, you know, it's like a little bit of a trivia from the game, very hidden, and I wanted to incorporate it in this scene. Okay, so another small details here. What you see on the bottom left, it's a statue, and that's a Chozo statue from Metroid. And again, you know, I like to put stuff that makes sense, that in my mind, for some reason, it makes sense. Okay, so this is a statue in Metroid that when you basically shoot at the orb, you get a power-up in the game, okay? So because the power-up has the shape of a spear, I was like, well, it makes sense that that I put this Easter egg because it's in a level where you see boulders and spheres kind of hitting you. And so I was like, well, that makes sense, you know, so I decided to, and it also kind of fits the environment, you know, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna put the Chozo statue here holding the orb because it reminds of the boulders, you know. Okay, so this is some really nerdy shit. All right, so let me explain this. Okay, so Novigrad, you know, because Henry Cavill is the Witcher, you know, he's Geralt of Rivia, blah, blah. So level 709, it's because Geralt of Rivia, the Witcher, he's a wanderer, you know, he wanders the lands, you know. And so basically what I did, I went to the wiki and I discovered that the highest level that you can reach with the Wanderer class in Dark Souls 1 is 709. And so, you know, because he's a fucking badass, I made him level 709. I know this is really stupid, I know, but it's just, it's like funny to me. So that's why it says like that, 709. Furthermore, 33 is my age, level 33. And Leon S. Kennedy, he is 21 on his first day at service in Raccoon City. And because it's his first day on the job, that's why I put playtime 24 hour. That's so stupid, I know, but I kind of love this shit, you know. Anyway, let's move on. So real quick, basically in the library here in the Duke's Archives, I've put a little bit of a reference to some of the lore hunters, you know, and kind of researchers of Dark Souls and Bloodborne lore that I guess, you know, they're kind of unsung among the people that upload on YouTube interesting content about these games. And these guys, especially Redgrave and Aegon of Astora, specifically on Bloodborne and Dark Souls, they were really important, you know, in the research about the lore of these games. So I wanted to kind of pay homage to them here. Illusory Wall also, he's a fantastic. He basically goes through these games and finds stuff in the graphics, you know, and something about the maps and how they connect. And hidden details, and he's really good at it. Kind of like what Zully the Witch is doing right now, which is getting very popular. Also J.S.F, Sophie, is doing a fantastic job analyzing Bloodborne. And Redgrave, he actually wrote a book called The Pale Blood Hunt, which is really cool, you know. So I wanted to kind of, you know, show my respect to these guys, these people. And I'm gonna actually, in the description, I'm gonna leave a link to their channel so you can go subscribe to them and show some love. Okay, so a little bit of trivia about this whole episode. This is the first idea that I had for this short, and then I changed it, of course, with the idea that you saw. But basically, I had this fucking insane idea where everything was kind of like happening in the same way that you saw in the video. But then when the player goes into like this black dark place, it was not supposed to be the bottom of Sam Fortress, but it was just basically supposed to be that he was lost underneath Logan's hat, because his hat was so fucking big, like was so gigantic and ginormous that the player was basically lost underneath his hat. And after crawling, you know, after crawling a lot, finally he basically gets to the center of the hat where he meets Logan. And then he would try to kind of like, as he was kind of crawling through this dark space, he would try to kind of stand up and was like boing, kind of falling back down because, you know, like the bounciness of the hat, I guess, the ceiling. So fucking like insane. But then I was like, well, it doesn't make much sense, you know, it's better to do that he's at the bottom of Sans Fortress because it makes sense because it's a dark place. And also one of the deciding factors was the fact that I put the Titanite demon that was serving the blueberries to Logan. And so how can I fit the Titanite demon below his hat? It doesn't make any sense, you know? So that's why I changed the idea. But the first idea was kind of crazy, and but I wanted to share it with you guys. Okay, so I have just a couple more things I wanted to show you, and these are more about the music of these videos. When I'm looking through the binoculars, you can hear a tune that I composed and I played myself, and it's like a jazzy kind of vibe. So as you can hear right now, the bass is going doom doom doom, right? And this is supposed to be a reference to Gwyn's theme, like dun 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 dun. See? Especially here at the end. See, it's the same note as bling 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 bling. I just wanted to try something by incorporating the same notes from Gwyn's theme, and I think it came out pretty well, you know. So again, I didn't see anyone picking up on this, you know, like realizing this, so I wanted to share it. I'm gonna have to switch here to my other computer and show you basically that, well, making the song was absolutely amazing. It was a lot of fun. I wanted to give a shout out also to Daniel from Stiffbizkit, the tribute band from Limp Bizkit from Britain, and it was a blast to work with him. I'll leave in the description a link to their tribute band so you can check it out. And there's a hidden detail in the song. Basically, I did like a scratch, like a DJ kind of effect, and I basically at some point you can hear the carving that says very good, very good. But then the scratching that you hear right after, like this one here, it's basically the same sample of the very good, but like scratched on. So I did a scratch like a DJ on that audio file from the game. All right, I think that's it. That's all I wanted to share with you guys. So to conclude, I'm gonna continue doing these shorts. They have been a blast. I am currently working on a new one. Check out the pinned comment in the description for more detail, because I don't want to date this video too much. But you can check there how I'm doing exactly with the new one. And also, I'm going today to release the storyboards for these two animations, Gaping Dragon and House of Traps. And I made available these storyboards for my $5 Patreons. Usually the storyboards are available for the $10 patrons, but because this is like some shorter videos that have a storyboard that is around 2 pages, I decided to make it available for my $5 Patreon. So if you're a supporter, you can access them and download them. Same for the wallpapers. The wallpapers will be available for all the people that pledge $3 or above. When I'll have 4 shorts in total, I'm gonna do an art book that encompasses all of 4 shorts together, okay? And I feel like before Elden Ring comes out, I should probably be able to release 2 more of these. And so last, I ask you guys if you want to support what I do, to become a patron. If you wish to help me out, even like with a single dollar, can be a huge motivation for me to continue making these. And yeah, like I'm hoping also to grow my Patreon a little bit more, so that I can have my assistant joining me finally, so that I can tackle the Elden Ring parody that I'm probably gonna do more easily, you know, because now I'm used to do these short parodies, and they're fun to make, you know. They don't require a lot of work. They still require a lot of work, you know, but it's nothing compared to those longer videos, you know. So I'm hoping that I can grow my channel and to have him join me, so that he can help me to kind of get some load off, you know, the amount of crazy work that's gonna take to do the Elden Ring parody. So yeah, again, like if you want to help out, please check out my Patreon, okay? Hope you enjoyed this video. I will see you around. I'm gonna probably stream the next few weeks, and I'm gonna continue to work on the new short. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys. I love you, and I'll see you soon.